I've been active in West Linn for a while and watching what's been going on, various issues, and I have felt more and more disenfranchised as a citizen in West Linn. And that concerns me. We need to involve the citizens much more in West Linn. And I just felt that someone needed to step up, particularly at this time, after a couple of the decisions that have happened. If you don't step up and challenge this time, then it's almost like an endorsement of what's been done and saying this is okay, and then who knows what's around the corner.
So what are some of those events that disenfranchised you, or some of those things that happened that what were those? Was it the water issue, or I just curious what the hotline?
Well, that was definitely a beginning issue.
Okay.
The water issue. At the very least, I think it should have been negotiated better. I don't think that West Linn did very well out of this at all.
Mm-hmm.
The next issue that I saw was the regulatory streaming process. I was very involved in that. I testified several times. That was very concerning because we went through weeks and weeks of testimony. We went back and forth. The Planning Commission agreed that it was a very flawed process the way it was developed. It definitely wasn't a regulatory streaming. It was just packaged to look that way. So we had a lot of concerns about this. And then it finally went to the council with a no vote from the Planning Commission, and they disregarded everything and just passed it. And passed it as is, did not even look at, and it's a huge, if you've looked at the document, which I'm sure you have, it's a huge complicated piece that they passed. Well, you don't pass it just like that on one vote. You need to at least assess each area, and nothing should go through as perfect. It should be looked at and say, well, maybe we should tweak this a little bit, or maybe we need to discuss this. It didn't happen with the council. They just passed it, and to me that's unconscionable.
Well, what does that indicate to you as far as them just passing it and without kind of disregard for the no vote from the Planning Commission? What do you think that says about this council?
It says pretty much what they've been saying. We all think with the same mind. In other words, they probably discussed it all ahead of time, made their decision before they heard any testimony. So whatever testimony was given was ignored, and that pretty much came out in their goal setting session that you can hear the recording of earlier in the year, and that they were directed that this was how it was to be, and so they agreed and they just signed off on it.
So if you were to be elected and you're running with Russ Axelrod, so it would be, your hope would be that the two of you would both be elected. What would be some of the changes that you would want to make to how things are done to make some of these things better, I guess?
Well, in no way do I think two of us are going to make huge changes to start off with, but if we get in with a big enough majority, it's going to be a wake-up call, I think. One of the things that I don't like, and I will not go ahead with, is these closed-door dinner meetings ahead of the council meeting. If you lock the door and you go behind it, you can say, I'm not discussing issues, but you need to be seen to be not discussing issues, not just say it. And if you have a quorum in there, that is a very dangerous precedent to set. So if they want to have a social event beforehand, the doors will be open if I'm going to participate, and there will be other people invited in so as they can listen in and make sure we don't. I'm happy to have a social event and to build good communications and rapport with the other council members, but it can't be done at the risk of losing transparency. The other thing I would like to do is open up discussion. If there's two of us, we will get discussion open because one can put a motion, the other one can second it, and we can at least discuss things. You cannot just pass things with, yeah, I'm okay, or I concur, or I agree. You've got to discuss it and be seen to discuss it and take other people's opinions into account. So those are the two things that I would definitely start with. I am hoping that if there are two people that are willing to stand up, that we're going to get some support from the other two, that maybe they have stayed silent on things because they don't want to be in the minority. So maybe they'll start opening up discussions themselves.